Imagine you have a time machine at your disposal. You set the dial to 100, 200, or even 400 million years ago and pull the lever. You step outside onto the surface, and your home planet is completely unrecognizable. Colossal reptiles roam the land. Giant pterosaurs soar through the skies. The atmosphere is thick with carbon dioxide, and the continents we know today are fused into a single supercontinent, Pangaea. But if you put on a heavy diving suit and plunge into the murky depths of the ancient ocean, you'll realize you've arrived in a place that feels completely familiar. Peer through the water, and you'll see the exact same eyes staring back at you, the exact same silhouettes swimming past that inhabit the abyss right now. While an evolutionary revolution raged on the surface, while dinosaurs went extinct and millions of species were born and vanished, the ocean abyss preserved its primal order. How did these creatures manage to cheat evolution itself? Why did natural selection pass them by? And what survival secrets are hidden by these living fossils that remember Earth long before the first human appeared? Today, we embark on our most ambitious dive into the planet's history. Coelacanth, the ancient ghost of the Comoros. December 22nd, 1938, went down in scientific history as the day of one of the most incredible discoveries ever made. Marjorie Courtney Latimer, a curator at a small museum in South Africa, was sorting through the routine catch of a local fishing trawler. Amid tons of ordinary cod and herring, her eyes landed on something extraordinary. A massive, bluish fish with heavy armored scales and strange fins that looked almost like human arms. When a sketch of the fish reached the renowned ichthyologist J.L.B. Smith, he couldn't believe his eyes. Scientists worldwide were 100% certain that lobe-finned fish, or coelacanths, had gone completely extinct at the end of the Mesozoic era, alongside Tyrannosaur, Triceratops, and Ammonites about 66 million years ago. Finding a live coelacanth was the equivalent of bumping into a living diplodocus strolling through Central Park. The coelacanth's main secret lies in its lobe fins. Unlike ordinary fish, whose fins are made of thin rays, the coelacanth's fins contain actual bones and joints. In essence, these are the predecessors to the limbs that allowed ancient amphibians to take their very first steps out of the ocean and onto land millions of years ago. When a coelacanth swims, it moves its fins in an alternating pattern, exactly like a walking horse or a human. But why hasn't it changed over the last 400 million years? The answer lies in its home. Coelacanths live at depths of 150 to 300 meters inside underwater basalt caves. In these ecosystems, there are no strong currents. Water temperatures remain constant for centuries, and food is always available. Why alter a perfect organic mechanism when it has worked flawlessly for ages? Goblin shark and frilled shark, demons of the Mesozoic. If the coelacanth inspires awe in scientists, the next inhabitants of the abyss are capable of inspiring pure terror. Meet the goblin shark. This species has roamed the ocean depths for over 125 million years. Its appearance seems straight out of a nightmare, flabby pink skin with translucent blood vessels, topped with a long, blade-like snout above its mouth. But its main weapon is its jaw. Normally retracted into its head, the moment the shark nears its target, its mouth shoots forward several inches like a hydraulic trap. The snout is peppered with thousands of sensory cells that detect the faintest electrical impulses from a prey's nervous system in pitch darkness. But the horrors of the ancient ocean don't end there. Meet another survivor, the frilled shark. Externally, it looks more like a giant sea serpent or an eel. Its lineage has existed on Earth for at least 150 million years. It earned the name frilled due to the distinctive frilly skin folds covering its gill slits. But the most terrifying feature is its mouth. Inside are 25 rows, comprising over 300 teeth, each shaped like a sharp, three-pronged hook curving inward. Once prey enters this mouth, escape is physically impossible. The frilled shark hunts by flexing its body like a rattlesnake and strikes, swallowing its prey whole, even if it's half its own size. They lived when the continents were just beginning to drift apart, and they hunt the exact same way today. Why does evolution stop?
At this point, a logical question arises. How does evolution actually work? Shouldn't life on Earth be continuously developing, growing more complex, and changing? A common misconception is that evolution is a planned march of progress designed to make a species superior. In reality, evolution is simply a forced response to environmental changes. If the climate shifts on land, rivers dry up, or new competitors emerge, a species must mutate or face extinction.
However, at depths ranging from 500 to several thousand meters, virtually nothing has changed over the last 500 million years. There is no sunlight or changing seasons. Water temperatures hover perpetually a few degrees above freezing, and crushing pressures of hundreds of atmospheres would instantly implode any surface organism. In biology, this is known as stabilizing selection. If a species unlocked the perfect survival formula for a stable environment millions of years ago, any new genetic mutation would actually lower its chances of survival. Nature simply freezes the animal's anatomy. They reached biological perfection long before the first mammals ever walked the earth. Horseshoe crabs and nautiluses, older than trees, and Saturn. To meet our next creature, we don't even need a submersible to dive to the seafloor. A stroll along the shallows during a spring high tide will do. Before you is the horseshoe crab. Its appearance, equipped with a heavy chitinous shell and a long tail spine, has remained unchanged for an astounding 450 million years. Wrap your head around that number. Horseshoe crabs are older than the first dinosaurs. They are older than the first trees on Earth. And according to recent astronomical data, they are even older than Saturn's famous rings. But the true miracle of the horseshoe crab is hidden in its veins. It lacks red hemoglobin. Instead of iron, its blood utilizes copper, giving it a striking sky blue color. This blood exhibits an incredible trait. The moment it contacts bacteria or endotoxins, it instantly clots into a dense gel, isolating the infection. Today, horseshoe crab blood is the world's primary method for testing pharmaceuticals and vaccines for sterility. Every single vaccine administered to humans is verified thanks to the blue blood of a creature from the Ordovician period.
Hovering right alongside them in the ocean currents is another master of survival, the nautilus. This is the last surviving genus of ancient external-shelled cephalopods. Their design hasn't changed in 500 million years. The nautilus shell is divided into internal camera-like compartments. The mollusk pumps gas or water into them to adjust its buoyancy, acting just like a real submarine. The shape of a nautilus shell forms a mathematically perfect golden ratio spiral, sculpted by nature hundreds of millions of years before human mathematics ever existed.
Deep-sea monsters, angel shark and hagfish.
Our list of ocean-living fossils wouldn't be complete without creatures straddling the line between true fish and primitive organisms. Meet the angel shark. Despite its flattened body resembling a ray, this is a true shark whose anatomical blueprint has operated without a glitch for 160 million years. Buried in the sandy seafloor, it can lie in wait for weeks, striking out in a fraction of a second. But if we climb even further down the evolutionary tree, we encounter the hagfish, a creature that lacks true jaws and a spinal column. Hagfish have inhabited Earth for over 500 million years. They are a direct legacy of the era when fish were still learning how to swim.
The hagfish possesses a unique defense mechanism. Under threat, its body secretes special proteins that instantly transform into gallons of thick, durable slime upon contact with seawater.
Any predator attempting to bite a hagfish immediately gets its gills clogged with slime and is forced to back off or risk suffocation. It's a primitive yet absolute defense system that hasn't failed hagfish for 500 million years.
Conclusion: Guardians of Planet History.
The global ocean isn't just a body of water covering 3/4 of our planet. It is the greatest living museum on Earth, where ancient exhibits don't gather dust behind glass. They continue to breathe, hunt, and reproduce. Humanity has explored less than 10% of the ocean floor. We know more about the surfaces of the Moon and Mars than we do about our own planet's deep-sea trenches. Who knows what other incredible creatures, long thought extinct, are gazing into the dark depths of the Mariana Trench right now, unchanged for millions of years.
Which of these relic creatures amazed you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to Animal Planet so you don't miss our next dive into nature's most fascinating secrets. See you in the abyss.